Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Welcome back to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care. As always, I'm Candy, and I'm so honored to help you lead a more joyful life. And welcome back to The Lux Life if you're watching on YouTube. But either way, be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, and share this with a friend. So just a quick heads up about today's episode. The audio might be off a little bit. I was using a different mic, so thank you so much for your grace and for understanding, and I promise it is worth it what we talk about in today's episode. And also don't forget, if you need a little bit more personalized one-on-one support, then be sure to join our Lux Life VIP group. We do weekly coaching calls. We have resources on self-love, self-care, and manifestation. You also get a free copy of the Journal to Self-Love journal, or the Journey to Self-Love journal. Yes, you get a free copy of that, and you also get access to all of the challenges that we're going to do throughout the year, so be sure to join us. So without further ado, here's the episode.
So I thought it would be really important to talk about how to manifest when you just don't feel good. You know, the law of attraction is always just like, feel good, come from like, just get into your like feel good vibration frequency, and then you'll attract everything you want, just get into the feeling. But what happens when you just don't feel good? As human beings, we go through ebbs and flows. Sometimes we don't feel good. Sometimes we aren't high vibe. Sometimes we aren't, just feeling it. That is also a part of the human experience, is sometimes we just don't feel good. Sometimes we're exhausted. Sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we're uninspired. Sometimes we're not motivated. Sometimes we're burnt out. Like, of course, we want to be using our self-care practices so you don't get to that point, right? But as human beings, there will be times when we just don't feel it, regardless if we're doing our self-care practices or not. Just sometimes you're just going to wake up in a funk. You're just not going to be into it. You're just not going to be feeling good. And I just want everyone to know that that is okay, and it's totally normal. I think sometimes there's toxic positivity where it's just like, choose to be happy, think a better thought, get into the feeling. And yes, of course, all of the things. But sometimes we just don't feel like doing all of the things. We're just freaking tired. And so I want to say that it is okay to be tired. It is natural to be tired. So when you get into that state, give yourself grace and give yourself permission to rest. And you need to know that no matter what feeling state you're in, the law of attraction and the law of assumption is always working. So it's not like you're not going to be able to manifest just because you don't feel good. That's not true. It's always working. So I think when you have the knowing that the law of attraction and the law of assumption and being able to manifest is always working, then you don't ever feel like you're going to miss out if you just chill. You're going to miss out if you just aren't in the feeling space. Because to me, I think it's really all about the intentionality behind our feelings. It's the intentionality of the vibe that we put out there. So don't feel worried that if you're just not having a good day, if you're not high vibe, if you're just tired, if you're just exhausted, that somehow you're going to miss out on your manifestation, or somehow you're going to attract something really bad to you. Like, oh, if I'm not feeling good, that means I'm going to attract all this negative stuff to me, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not it. So when they say, if you're negative, you'll attract negative. If you're positive, you'll attract positive. Sure. But remember, it's always what is the dominant feeling? What is your dominant frequency? What is your dominant belief system? What are you thinking dominantly in your subconscious mind? So if you have a negative thought, if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean that it's going to ruin your life. It's going to ruin your manifestation goal. It's going to attract all these bad things to you. The trick is you don't want that or that bad mood or that bad feeling to dwell. You don't want to dwell in there. And then you also don't want it to become your dominant feeling or become your dominant thought or become how you feel over a long period of time. Because there's one thing to say, I don't feel good today. And there's another thing to say, I'm like depressed or I'm anxious. Because that's like being in the state of it. You know, that's having days and days and days. That's having your dominant thoughts, the way you dominantly feel being down. And that's what we don't want. So, the way that you manifest when you aren't feeling motivated and you're not feeling burnt out is to let yourself off the hook and let yourself allow yourself to feel how you feel. Don't pressure yourself to get to the better feeling. Don't pressure yourself to feel a different way. If you feel how you feel, allow yourself to feel it and just know that it's the dominant feeling that you have overall. And actually, when you kind of do that toxic positivity of like not allowing yourself to feel bad or to feel low or to feel whatever, and trying to inauthentically force yourself to feel better, that also creates a type of denial and a type of numbness that we don't want either. You don't want to deny your feelings or numb yourself to the feeling or to your feelings or not allow yourself to be your authentic self, because that will also lead to depression and anxiety and all of the other stuff because you're not actually dealing with it. Allow yourself to feel how you feel. So when you do that, I would say set the intention. Just set the intention, know that you're a human and know that you're a human being and that you need to rest and reset. You don't have to be productive. You don't have to be doing techniques. You don't have to be willing yourself to feel better. This is just how you feel. You don't have to do all of the things. One great affirmation that you can use when you're not feeling motivated and when you're feeling burnt out and you're just feeling low is, I compassionately embrace my humanity and how I'm feeling in this moment, and I lovingly allow myself to rest. So I'll say it again. I compassionately embrace my humanity and how I'm feeling in this moment, and I lovingly allow myself to rest. That is the affirmation I would use, because that is showing yourself love, that is showing yourself compassion, that is showing yourself grace, and that is actually the essence of all the work that we want to do, is being able to hold space for yourself without judgment and without the need to change yourself. Because when you allow yourself to feel how you feel, when you allow yourself to rest and rejuvenate, that is how you actually ensure that you don't get into a slump, that a bad day doesn't become a bad week, that becomes a bad month, that becomes a bad year, that becomes a bad life. That you're able to sit with yourself with how you're feeling. Take a nap, go to sleep, read a book, just chill out. Don't force yourself to be doing all these manifestation techniques or trying to force yourself to feel something different. How you feel is how you feel. Allow yourself to embrace it. And if you're unable to get out of the funk on your own, reach out for help. Talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, reach out if you're unable to do it on your own. But don't feel like you have to force yourself into being anything. You can say, I'm open to feeling better. I'm open to getting out of this funk. I'm open to being inspired. I'm open to being motivated, right? But allow yourself to feel how you feel. You don't have to shame yourself, deny yourself, or force yourself into anything. That's toxic positivity. So when you start to, go at your own pace, when you start to feel better, then you can slowly re-implement the tools and techniques that resonate with you. Maybe then you start to journal a little bit more. Maybe then you start to go out and walk in nature. Maybe you want to meditate now. Maybe you want to get creative. Maybe you want to go work out or whatever it is. But again, go at your own pace. Be in tune with how you feel. Use your intuition to dictate your right next move, but give yourself time and grace to relax and to rest and to just chill. And then when you do start to feel better, a really good journal question is, what is this fatigue trying to show me? Where do I need to slow down? What do I need to let go of? Is there a course that I need to switch? Because if you're feeling unmotivated, uninspired, low vibe, burnt out, usually that feeling, usually that fatigue, usually that burnout is trying to tell you something. Your mind, body, and spirit is trying to get your attention and it's trying to show you something. So instead of beating yourself up for just not feeling good, just be appreciative of it and say, hey, I know that my body and my mind is trying to tell me something. It's trying to get me to pay attention to something. Think about your day, think about your week. Are there things that you're doing that you don't have to do? Are you being busy just to be busy? Maybe it's time to reprioritize what your goals are, reprioritize where you spend your time, focus on high quality rather than quantity, focus on being intentional rather than trying to do everything. So maybe your fatigue, maybe your burnout is trying to show you these are the areas in your life that you need to prune away. These are the areas in your life where you need to slow down. And maybe you're on a track that you need to switch. And remember, it's always okay to change courses. You are the author of your life. You can always rewrite a new chapter. So it's always okay to switch course. So look at the fatigue as God, spirit, source, your body, mind, saying, hey, you need to stop, get clear, and then rearrange and move forward. And that rearrangement could be, again, slowing down, letting go, switching course, whatever it is. But it's your body and mind telling you to stop. And you need to listen to it. So with that, those are my insights on how to manifest when you feel unmotivated and burnt out. I know you can't see me because I'm on the podcast, but I'm wearing my love hoodie. So if you want to get something from our love collection, be sure to head over to candywashington.com and pick up something from our love collection. Also, don't forget that you can join our newsletter and you will get weekly free self-care, self-love, and manifestation tips. And you can always join our Lux Life VIP group for that personalized one-on-one support. So with that, be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. And don't forget to share this with a friend. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!